Hello heroes and villains, and welcome to the Build Phase channel, helping you build a better turn. My name is Dangerford, and I'd like to thank you again for joining us for another one of our videos. This is week 3 of our Match of the Week series for our Build Phase League play. This week, the League players featured are InvaderGrint and What a Sandwich. You might remember What a Sandwich from the first week, and InvaderGrint is Peter from Team Attack, so I'll probably just call him Peter. If you guys aren't aware, there's a versus podcast called Team Attack that is very good. It features a bunch of nice guys, I suppose, but don't let that go to their heads, because we also have a podcast made by Mr. Ben, and while the formats are drastically different, I have to side with Mr. Ben on this one. You know, it's just, a slight bias. Anyways, this week's match, Peter is playing as Captain Marvel, and What a Sandwich is playing as Luke Cage. I'm going to be trying something a little bit different this week, where I have sped up the video to make it much more truncated so that everyone can watch it and not have to spend about 40 minutes to an hour doing so. If you like this new format, let me know in the comments down below. I'd appreciate any sort of feedback that you might have. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so as I said, InvaderGrint is playing as Captain Marvel. She has range and flight. She's a 2/4 with 6 health. She has, during the main phase, her level 1 ability, pay a blue, put a +1/+1 counter on Captain Marvel for each other ranged character on your side. Level up condition: whenever Captain Marvel stuns an enemy character in combat, she gains an XP, and she needs 4 of those. And then Luke Cage is a 4/3 with 5 health. His level 1 ability is anytime combat, pay a green. If Luke Cage gets stunned during this combat, he does not get wounded. His level up condition: during your build phase, you may pay any amount of resource points to give Luke Cage that much XP, and he needs 5 of them. And the great thing about that is, no matter what, Luke Cage can always level up on turn 3 if you want him to. That's just so awesome that it's a guaranteed. I suppose barring Scarlet Witch, but yeah, I suppose that's about the only thing that would be able to not let him level up on turn 3. Looks like Peter rolled a 20 and What a Sandwich rolled a 20. Peter rolled a 17. Wow. They roll a lot better than I do with dice. What a Sandwich will go first, and he plays a Sanctum Sanctorum and Brace. Oh, that's kind of strange that he's actually playing a character instead of using Luke Cage. He's attacking Luke Cage into Captain Marvel. Brace is a ranged 2/1 with 2 health. Once you can't move him once you're done with him in the formation step, and whenever he gets stunned, then you can put a -1/-1 counter on somebody. Looks like Luke Cage is going into Captain Marvel. Peter is asking, any plot twists? No? Question mark, that's funny. Okay, so Peter is just going to power up with Call. Call is ranged 2/2 with 3 health. While Call is in your hand, you can discard her to power up any character on your side. She is very awesome. And then on the other side, What a Sandwich plays Hidden Weapons to give Luke Cage +1/+1 and range for the turn. You can use that either during the main phase or anytime during combat. It's a really nice Defender's card, probably the second best Defender's plot twist. So we got a wound on Captain Marvel. And Peter plays a Nostromo, a blue, and brings out Cosmo. I'm assuming he's going to target Cosmo with, probably going to target Luke Cage, I would bet. Cosmo's ability is Nullify. When he appears, you choose an enemy character loses and can't gain keyword and superpowers until Cosmo gets stunned or leaves play. He has range 1/3 with 1 health. And it looks like Peter is going to pay the blue to Captain Marvel's level 1 ability to give herself a +1/+1 counter because Cosmo is ranged. And then he's attacking right into Luke Cage. Seems legit. And he can't use that green, so he's got to take a wound. Oh nice, look at that. End of turn 1, and each main character has a wound on them already. This could be a pretty fast game. Well, we know it's going to be a fast game because I sped it up. I'm sorry guys, I'm a little goofy. You're just going to have to deal with it. Oh yeah, Captain Marvel also gained an experience because she stunned a character. So, bringing out another Sanctum Sanctorum, and Kane. I'm really surprised that he's not using Luke Cage's level up ability. Kane is a 3/1 with 1 health. When Kane appears, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a basic location. Put it into your hand and shuffle the rest of the revealed cards into your deck. And he immediately pulls out a green. Kane is awesome. He's probably one of my favorite new cards from the Alien set. And it looks like he's going to attack right into Captain Marvel and use an open fire to give himself +2 attack. But Peter uses an even the odds. It's an anytime combat plot twist as well. To remove all +1/+1 counters from an enemy character in the combat, that character's current attack and defense become the same as its base. So Kane is back down to a 3/1. Look at all those arrows. It's already pretty heated considering it's only round 2. Looks like What a Sandwich is asking, can I play another one and have it stun her? Of course you can. You can play as many plot twists as you can play a plot twist and then your opponent has the chance to respond and you continue back and forth until both of you passes. So he's going to play another open fire. Very nice. So that brings Kane back up to a 5/1, which means they will stun each other. Unless Peter has another even the odds. You never know. Yeah, he passes. So, that is 2 wounds on Captain Marvel. And then, of course, Luke Cage into Cosmo. And I don't believe there's anything he can do about that. Yep, KO's Cosmo. That's unfortunate. Let's see what Peter can do in his second turn. Oh, and then also Captain Marvel gained a level, or gained an experience. Alright, so he brings out an academy. I'm sorry, a training ground. I'm getting my locations mixed up. And she's flying over Luke Cage to attack Vrace. And What a Sandwich will use his ability to put a -1/-1 counter onto Captain Marvel. And then he passes. Oh, that's unfortunate. He didn't have anybody to play. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, I think Peter forgot to play a plot twist. Or not a plot twist, a location. So he added a green to his resource row. Looks like Luke Cage is attacking into Captain Marvel and stuns her. Okay, I don't understand why that happened, but somehow the green location for What a Sandwich went to Peter's row instead of what a sandwich is. That's weird. Well, anyways, Luke Cage gained 3 experience because he didn't play a character that turn. Another training ground from Peter, and it looks like Captain Marvel already has 2 wounds on her. I really wish that they would change the orbs on the counters for the cards so that they matched up. You know, green is +1 counters, red would be -1, experience could be blue. He brings out Rocket. Rocket is a 4/1 with 1 health and range. During the main phase, pay a red and put a card from your KO pile into your hand. Rocket is awesome. This deck actually looks very similar to the one that Sal played at the Milwaukee $1,000 tournament. I got second, yay! But Sal, he trumped me with this deck. It works really well, especially against Dark Phoenix. It's I would say a hard counter to it. Anyways, Rocket into Luke Cage. No effects. Will he get another wound? No, he won't, because What a Sandwich is targeting his Sanctum Sanctorum to not take the wound. That's odd. I wonder why he didn't use the Fury 161 instead. Who knows? Maybe he's saving it for something. Alright, so it looks like Captain Marvel is going to go into Race. He'll take another -1/-1 from that hit, but Race should be KO'd after that. Oh, okay. Putting the -1/-1 onto Rocket, that's smart, because whenever your defense is at 0, you automatically stun, meaning that Rocket automatically KOs from the -1/-1 counter. That worked out pretty well for What a Sandwich, actually. So back to What a Sandwich, playing the Sulaco, which is essentially Training Grounds. I don't know why it's going over to Peter's side, that's weird. And then I type it out. You can tell that I am recording this after the fact. Adds 2 level counters to Luke Cage to level up. It means that he has 2 more if he decides to bring somebody else out. Although it's pretty awesome that Luke Cage is already pretty beefy. He has become a 6/6, and during the build phase, pay a yellow, search your hand, deck, and KO pile for an Iron Fist supporting character and put him into one of your rows. That's amazing because Iron Fist has a really great ability that can stun anything by paying a red. Unless, of course, he somehow doesn't strike back, such as, say, getting a shock to the system so that his attack comes down to 0. But anyways, looks like Luke Cage attacked Captain Marvel and stunned her once more, bringing her to 4 wounds. Is that right? Yeah, I believe it's 4 wounds already. Wow. Peter has to row a resource, which is pretty crazy that he doesn't have a location and he's got about 8 cards in his hand. It's not looking very good for Peter, unfortunately. Let's see what he's going to do here. So, moves Captain Marvel down, uses Call to give her a +1/+1 counter, uses another Call to give him another +1/+1 counter. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll read what Star-Lord is. He's a ranged 3/6 with 1 health. While he's team attacking, you choose the defender, the character he strikes back with, and then he also has team up. Each supporting character on your side is also a Guardians of the Galaxy's character. Supporting character, though, is the key word there. And I think, if I remember correctly, during the Skype conversation, which I did not get to record properly. Again, I'm really sorry about that, guys. But Peter noticed his mess up that you can't team attack with Captain Marvel because she's not a supporting character, so he has to pass. And then it looks like Punisher comes out on What a Sandwich's side after he rode a resource, and he is attacking Captain Marvel. Let's see here. Punisher is lethal. When Punisher stuns a defending supporting character, KO it. He also has perfect position. Anytime combat, spend the red. If Punisher is in ranged combat, he can't be struck this combat. He has range 7-3 and is 1 health. He is awesome. I love Punisher. He's got a very thematic card. That's one thing about this game that I've always really loved, is the flavor. Looks like Luke Cage attacks Star-Lord and KOs him. Yeah. Oh, Peter, you have 1 health left. You're gonna have to do something really drastic here in order to survive. Alright. I think Peter did the equivalent of flipping a table there. Now, he scooped, but I do remember him saying how happy of a game that was. He really enjoyed the way What a Sandwich built Luke Cage. It was very different from the way that most of us see Luke Cage played, which is always level up on turn 3, and then you don't have to really worry about having any cards in your deck for turns 1 through 3, because you're basically just using Luke Cage to stall with super senses from defenders, plot twists, and spending those greens to make sure that he doesn't get the wounds. And then you can start on turn 4, or even I suppose on turn 3 with a 1-drop, because you'd have 1 resource point left over after spending the rest to level up Luke Cage. But anyways, turn 4 is when most Luke Cage decks really blow up, which this is really interesting to see What a Sandwich's build. Having Kane come out on turn 2 really helps, especially with Luke Cage's ability. It also helps for Iron Fist. When Iron Fist comes out, he can spend that red to automatically stun anything. It's such a good ability. It means that a 2-drop can take out 8-drop Thanos, if you can imagine that. Let's see here. Brace on turn 1. That was pretty interesting. It makes me wonder, since we didn't really get to see it play out any further than 5 turns that we saw, it makes me wonder if there was equipment in What a Sandwich's deck. I don't believe I asked him that during the Skype conversation, and if I did, then unfortunately I was not able to keep it, which I am sorry for that again. So anyways, that was a great match by What a Sandwich. It worked really well for him. It was unfortunate that Peter had a couple misplays and was never able to really keep any sort of board control. Luke Cage is just a monster sometimes if you can't handle all the stalling that he can do, but it was a good game by both. And yeah, okay, so thank you guys for watching another video on the Build Phase channel. I hope that you enjoy the series so far. If you're interested, I believe that signups might be coming up very soon for the 2nd season, which we will be having a different format for the 2nd season. I believe it won't be the standard format, or if we do something different, it'll be one of those scenarios that Ben, one of the lead designers of the game, has been posting on the Facebook Collective. I might even talk a bit more about those. Yeah, actually, why don't we do that? Let's bring those up real quickly. Okay, so at the end of the episodes, or maybe during the videos from now on, I haven't really decided yet, but I wanted to do a little bit of announcements for just versus in general, or just anything that's been going on with the build phase. So first off, Ben Cichoski. I might be butchering his name, so I apologize, but he's one of the lead designers of Super Awesome Games, who made this awesome game that you guys are watching right now. He is also a part of the league, and he was one of the players. He played Daredevil in the match of the week for week 2 against NBot. Anyways, he has been introducing some scenarios on the Facebook Collective, but I won't read through all of it. I'll just give a small overview of each of the scenarios, and hopefully this gives you some more ways to play versus and have fun with these cards by using these alternate rules formats formats. So anyways, the first scenario is Valentine's Day. Obviously it came out on Valentine's Day. It says love is in the air, and you know what that means. It's time for 2 main characters to have a night out on the town. Basically it's the same as a regular game, 60 card deck, but you choose 2 main characters and build your deck to support both of them. Both Mr. Ben and I have played a game of this, and while it could use a little bit more playthroughs, we were able to break the game pretty readily. I used Luke Cage and Dark Phoenix, and I was able to stall with Luke Cage and then use Dark Phoenix to basically ramp up and continually freeze his board by using Valkyrie and 2 copies of Iceman. He had the Newborn and Rocket, which was able to level up on turn 1 for both of his characters. I thought that was pretty awesome. So anyways, it's a pretty fun format. The second one is called Grandmaster's Game. Grandmaster has summoned a strange mix of heroes and villains to battle for supremacy. So the overview of this one is each player must build a deck using a variety of teams and battle to the end. Your deck must include exactly 1 character of each existing team affiliation, but obviously you can include 4 copies of each of those characters. Very interesting way of playing the game. It means that if your main character is an Avenger, then you must have exactly 1 supporting character from each other team in your deck, other than Avengers. Special rules: good characters on your side can team attack together, as well as evil characters on your side can team attack together. So that's pretty cool. I remember in one of our podcast episodes where it was a host full with all of us from the build phase on the episode, we had a discussion about how there's not very much that is being done with a good and evil character dynamic of the game. This is one of those instances where they're trying to make it a little bit more prevalent, and I really like that. Okay, on to the third. Close quarters. The battle takes place in a narrow corridor. Characters must slug it out in melee combat. So basically, this one's really simple. There is no back row, which means that poor Daredevil, is even worse than he was before. He can't protect anybody because there's nobody to protect. It just makes me chuckle. But still, pretty interesting format. I have not tried this one out, so if anybody has, let us know in the comments down below and tell us how it went. Last but not least, the last one that's been introduced smells like Team Spirit. 2 teams face off in successive battles for supremacy. Each player builds 1 deck to be used with 4 of the main characters for 1 team affiliation. This one is really interesting. I like the idea. It will take a long time because you're going to be playing at least 4 games, and then at 5 maybe if there's a tiebreaker. But basically you just choose 4 main characters. Right now I think every single set has only 4 main characters, but Legacy is just around the corner, so there's going to be 5 and you'll be able to choose 4 from these, and then you randomly pick 1 for each game and fight against your opponent, and then randomly pick 1 again, and so on until 4 matches are over and you see who's won. This is really interesting just because you can't really build towards 1 main character, which is just an interesting concept. You kind of have to spread things out a little bit, maybe have some cards that are either tech cards or just cards that benefit everybody. But yeah, if you've tried any of these scenarios, then let us know how they went. I'd be super excited to hear about them. The other bit of news that I wanted to cover, Mr. Ben has already talked about it on the podcast, but the Team Attack crew has issued a new challenge to us, and everyone's being super nasty to each other. I honestly, I wish I could be that way too, but that's just not in my character. I'm really bad at BS talking. But anyways, they have issued a challenge to us via OCTGN, and it will be happening sometime after Legacy set comes out so that we can use those cards. Basically, if anybody remembers the way the old Versus game worked with the Insanity mechanic, it's basically that. So 60 card deck where you build your deck with only being able to use 1 of any kind of card in your deck. So you can't have 4 super senses, you can't have 4 shock to the systems, you can only have 1 of them, 1 of everything, except for I think locations. You can still have 4 locations. That would be a little ridiculous. It'd be kind of hard to fill out a deck and still make it work and not have all those locations to help out with all the powers and whatnot. So anyways, that should be really interesting, and I'm excited for that, and I can't wait. I know that the Legacy set isn't out just yet, and it's actually been pushed back, which I won't talk about that right now because the next Match of the Week video will be featuring some discussions about that. So I'd like to thank you again for watching one of our videos here on the Build Phase channel. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any sort of questions or or just want to talk about anything versus related, leave a comment down below. You can go to our forum at thebuildphase.com. You can email us at contactus@thebuildphase.com. You've been watching the Build Phase channel, helping you build a better turn. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.